Hi everyone, in this video we shall discuss the solutions for exercise 1.5 of number systems from your NCERT textbook. So let's get started. The first question says classify the following numbers as rational, irrational. So here keep in mind, for the rational number the decimal expansion can be either terminating or non-terminating repeating, whereas for the irrational number it is going to be non-terminating and non-repeating. So that is about the decimal expansions of both rational as well as irrational numbers. Now let us see the first part, that is 2 minus root 5. So now actually if you see here, so 2 is going to be 2.000 and all. So that is going to be for sure terminating only. Why? Because here these zeros are just here for our reference only. So that is 2. From that just your combination subtracting root 5. And we know this root 5 is irrational number. Why? Because the decimal expansion of root 5, if you see here, it is going to be 2.2360679, and it is not going to be terminating or not going to be repeated at any point of time. So from this just you are subtracting like this. So you got like the answer is going to be 0.232 like so here you are getting this part. Okay, now the decimal expansion is non-terminating and non-recurring, so that's why it is going to be irrational number. So from this terminating one you are subtracting a number which is non-terminating, non-repeating. So as a result this entire answer is going to be non-terminating, non-repeating. So that's why this first part is going to be an irrational number. Then the second part, 3 plus root 23 minus root 23. Now see here 2 plus root 23 is an entity, from that you are subtracting root 23. So root 23 minus root 23, we just if you expand this one, both will get cancelled and you will be left with only 3 by 1, which is in the rational form b by q, where q not equal to 0, q and p are both are going to be integers. So it is going to be a rational one. So this is rational, whereas our first one is going to be irrational. Now this third one, 2 root 7 by 7 root 7. So even if seems to be irrational numbers in numerator as well as denominator, just we can cancel root 7. Why? Because 2 root 7 is same as 2 into root 7 and 7 root 7 is same as, so this is 2 into root 7 divided by 7 into root 7, 7 into root 7. Now just when you cancel this root 7, which is a common factor in the numerator and denominator, you are left with 2 in the numerator and 7 with the denominator. It will be 2 by 7. Again it is our rational form, p and q not equal to 0 and p, q are integers. So this is going to be a rational number. Now just you go through 1 by root 2. So just we know already the concept of rationalizing the denominator. When you multiply with the root 2, so you take 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, and you multiply with the root 2 on numerator and denominator also. So 1 into root 2 is going to be root 2 in the numerator, and in the denominator root 2 into root 2 will be 2. So we very well know that it is an irrational number. Why? Because the decimal expansion of root 2, if you see, it is going to be non-terminating and non-repeating, and we are taking half of it. That means you are dividing with 2. So then also the entire quantity is going to be non-terminating and non-repeating only. So that is why it is going to be irrational number. Now see the fifth one, 2 pi. We very well know this pi, which is our irrational number, and the decimal expansion for the pi is going to be 3.141567. So like that it keeps on repeating. So you are taking 2 times of it. Otherwise, look at this way. You have taken an irrational number and you are multiplying with a non-zero rational number. So in our important observations, we have seen that in such cases this entire result is going to be an irrational number. So that is why this is also going to be an irrational number. So let us move to the next question. The second question is about simplification. So just we have seen how to operate on the irrational number and rational number combination in our concept video. The same way we will be doing here also. So see the first one, 3 plus root 3 into 2 plus root 2. So now always remember, this is entirely one entity and this is entirely one more entity. We are multiplying 2 brackets. So as we do in algebra, the same thing you will do wherever variables are there. We will do in algebra the same thing you will be doing. So take the first part of the first bracket, 3 into 2. So 3 into 2, or otherwise 3 into 2 is what? 6. Okay, 3 into 2 is 6 plus 3 into root 2. Next come to this one, 2 into root 3, root 2 will be 3 root 2 over, and with the second one also plus 2 2 into root 3, 2 into root 3, it will be 2 root 3, okay, plus again it will be root 3 into root 2, root 3 into root 3 will be how much? Root 3 into root 2, it will be root 6, okay. We have seen in the previous discussion also how it will be root 6 and all. So when the exponent is same, you can multiply the bases. So 2 into 3 is going to be 6, and the common exponent is 1 by 2, which is nothing but our square root. So it will be 2 root 3, and it will be our 6, and it will be 3 root 2 here, 3 root 2. So are there any like terms here? That means these are root 3s, these are root 2s, this is 6 and this is root 6. Just we can leave with this particular step. This is going to be our answer. The same thing has been done here, don't get confused. We have taken this 3 and this entire bracket has been multiplied with this one. So that is what this one, and this has been taken and this entire bracket has been multiplied with this one. The answer is going to be same in this case also. Now let us move to the next part. Now see here, 3 plus root 3 into 3 minus root 3. So here we can do it in the same way as we did for the first question. Otherwise, try to think whether we can use any sort of identity here. Suppose if I assume this 3 as A and root 3 as B, root 3 as B, A plus B into the same 3 is here. So this is A minus same B, root 3 is here, B. So A plus B into A minus B is what? A square minus B square. So in place of A, what is there? 3 is there, so 3 square, which is 9, minus in place of B, root 3 is there, which is root 3 square, which is 3. So 9 minus 3 is what? 6 is going to be your answer. So suppose if you didn't get how to just use these things and all, we have to proceed by the elaborate way that we have done for the first question, like expanding the bracket as in this case. So now see this one, third one. Third one says root 5 plus root 2 whole square. So the same thing, suppose when I say root 8 square, it will be root 8 into root 8. So as there is a square for the bracket, this entire bracket has to write written like this, root 5 into root 2 into root 5 into root 2. That is how I have to write. So again, just you can use the method of expanding the brackets, right? You take this first term, multiply here and here, and again you take this one, for that you add this and this. So this is the conventional method. Otherwise, see here, suppose if I assume root 5 as some A and root 2 as B, it is A plus B whole square. So A plus B whole square is what? A square plus B square plus 2AB. That is what we know. So now substitute the values in the identity now. So in place of A, what is there? Is it 5 or root 5? Root 5 is there. So you take root 5 square, so this is root 5, sorry. So root 5 square, which is 5, plus root 2 square, which is 2, plus 2AB, 2 into, in place of A root 5 is there, and in place of B root 2 is there. Now 2 will be as it is, it's a rational number, into multiply these 2 root 5 into root 2, what will happen? So there is a common exponent which is same as 5 into 2, which is 10 square root. So square root of 10, that is what you will write. Now look for the common rational parts. So this is 5 plus 2, it will be 7, plus 2 root 10s are there, just add them like this. So it can be further simplified. Why? Because this is the rational part and this entire thing is the irrational part. So the answer is going to be 7 plus 2 root 10 for this particular answer. Otherwise, just you can expand the brackets and also the same way you can do it, no problem. So better use identity for such questions wherever it is possible. Now this one, the fourth one, let us see this one. So the fourth one is going to be like this. So root 5 minus root 2 into root 5 plus root 2. So now see, so you can expand the brackets. So like you take root 5, multiply with here like root 5 into root 5 and root 5 into root 2, plus minus root 2 into minus root 5. While taking that, just consider this minus sign into consideration, otherwise you will get a wrong answer. So minus root 2 into plus root 2, that is also we can do. So this is how expanding the bracket. Otherwise, just observe here what is going on here. A, if I assume root 5 as A, this as B, A minus B into what is there? A plus B is there. A minus B into A plus B is there. What is A plus B into A minus B? That is nothing but A square minus B square. In place of A, what is there? Root 5 is there. So that is why root 5 square minus, in place of B, what is there? Root 2 square. So root 5 square is root 5 into root 5, it is 5, minus root 2 square is root 2 into root 2, it will be 2. So that is why 5 minus 2 is going to be 3. Okay, we very well know how root 5 into root 5 is 5. Just I am explaining it again. Just see here. So whenever this is like this, 5 power 1 by 2, root is 5 power 1 by 2 into root 5 is 5 power 1 by 2. So the base is same, a power m into a power n. We can assume a power m plus n. When the base is same, for the same base we can add the powers. So this is nothing but 5 power 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which is 5. So in a similar fashion, root 3 into root 3, root 2 into root 2 will be 2. So like that, the answer is going to be 5 minus 2, which is 3, is going to be your answer for this one. So remember, whatever the identity you are using, that has to be mentioned. Since like this, we have to mention it along the solution, then only it will be clear. The next question says, recall pi is defined as the ratio of circumference of a circle to the diameter, that is pi is equal to c by d. So let me explain what from where does this pi comes into picture. Okay, you take a circle, like this. For the circle you will be having diameter. Okay, let us say this is center O, and let us say this is radius, double the radius is going to be your diameter. So your diameter. Now the definition of pi is equal to the ratio of circumference. So you will be having circumference, right? So what is circumference? 2 pi r, that is the general notation you are using, right? 2 pi r by the diameter. Diameter is what? 2r. Okay, so 2r cancel. That is how we are getting pi. So that is the basic definition of pi. So pi is defined as the ratio of circumference to the diameter. So that is the definition. Okay, for example, suppose how it is 3.14 and all. So let me tell you how it 1451 this form will just come. Let me explain it. Okay, now just you take any circle like bangle and all, whatever the circular shape, just you take the central distance, which is our diameter. Okay, now fix your thread. Okay, thread as the length of diameter, and with that length start point here and start measuring along the circumference. So you will get 1 time, you will get 2 times, you will get completely 3 times. Next part you will be having left with some region. For that you are getting, that means it will be completely divisible 3 times and some extra portion will be left. For that you will be having a decimal like this. Okay, that is how we can visualize the things in a better manner. Now as we have seen, pi can be defined as the ratio of circumference to the diameter. Now my question is, we have seen that this pi is irrational, right? This irrational, but this c by d, circumference by diameter, you are taking a ratio which is p by q form, which is a rational. How a rational number can be equal to an irrational number? Okay, it is, on one hand I am saying that this pi is irrational, on the other hand I am equating it to c by d, which looks to be a rational form. Is it contradicting? That is what the question is all about. Okay, how will you resolve this contradiction? Okay, that is what the question says about. Remember, while measuring the circumference of any circle, or when you are working with any instrument as such a scale or whatever it may be, you can't measure the exact value. There will be some minute decimals at micro level or nano level. That means that there will be some minute things which cannot be measured accurately. So that is why in the numerator we are not going to get exact value, okay, up to whatever the decimals it is. So that means it will be some it is going to be here when you say this circumference, when you are measuring with any instrument and all, so we will be getting only approximate rational value. It is not completely rational. So for this entire thing that has to be rational, this has to be integer, this also has to be integer. Even if you simplify this particular two things, you won't be getting an exact value. So that is the reason. So even if you are assuming pi as c by d, which looks to be a rational form, this is not so. So pi is always irrational number only. But remember, this is the definition how we define pi. Pi is equal to the ratio of circumference. That means in any circle, you take small circle, you take big circle, you take big circle, bigger circle, like biggest circle in the whatever the universe, whatever it is. Okay, if you take the ratio of its circumference to its diameter, it will be 3.14 only. For this one, the ratio will be 3.14. That means its circumference by its diameter will be 3.14 something, a pi. Its circumference by its radius diameter is going to be pi. Whatever the big circle you have considered, for that also the ratio of circumference to the diameter is going to be pi. That means pi is a circular constant. Okay, whenever you come across any circle like this, for that just pi can be defined as the ratio of circumference to the diameter always. So here, even if seems to be contradiction, it is not so. Why? Because with any instrument we are not going to get the exact value. Okay, that is the reason. So let us move to the fourth question now. So this is a very simple one. We have already discussed in our concept video how to do it. We need to represent square root of 9.3 on the number line. So what is the general step you have to do? First of all, whatever it is given to you, construct that length like this. Okay, this is 9.3 units. Let us say OB 9.3 units. Later on, just add 1 unit for that, 1 centimeter. So 9.3 centimeter and 1 centimeter. Okay, now for this one, this entire 10.3, we have to find the midpoint. How will you find the midpoint for 10.3? Will you find it on scale? No. For that, what you will do, we'll take the compass, take more than half the distance, just draw an arc like this, one more arc like this. So one more arc cutting like this with the same radius, we can find the midpoint like this. So that is what we got here, D as the midpoint. So D is our midpoint here. Now see here, so taking this particular D as the center and OD as the radius, Now fix your compass needle here and pencil, just keep it here and complete the semicircle like this. Okay, after completing the semicircle, now just we have to do one thing. We have to drop the perpendicular from this particular B to the circumference in this manner. So you will get the length B. Now what we have to do, just you take this particular B as the center and fix your pencil here, just drop it to the number line. That means from this point B to this particular F is going to be square root of 9.3. Otherwise just you start the number line. If you assume 0 here, so at this particular point this is going to be your 9.3, square root of 9.3. So remember, this is going to be an important method with which we can represent square root of any number. So but there is one more number which we have taken it for root to, like this geometric method, taking the combinations and all. In some cases it will be cumbersome. So that is the reason any square root is given to you, we can use this general approach. This generalization method, we can use it for the representation, and we have to write the steps for the same. Just go through the steps here, like whatever you are doing, just keep it in the sentence form. That is enough. Okay, so now, so I hope this is clear to you. So let's move to the next part of the next question. So the question says here, rationalize the denominator of the following. So we have already seen the concept of rationalizing the denominator. What does it mean? Making the denominator as a rational number. See, all these cases here, the denominators are irrational numbers. So using the concept of rationalizing the denominator, we need to make them rational. So let us see the first one, 1 by root 7. So whenever only one part is there, that is a monomial surd, we can say only one term is here, like just you multiply with the root 7 in the numerator and in the denominator also. Why? Because for this root 7 is the rationalizing factor. In order to not change the value, the numerator also should be multiplied with this particular root 7. So the answer is going to be 1 into root 7, multiply the numerator, and root 7 into root 7 is going to be 7. Root 7 by 7 is going to be your answer. Both are same. Okay, both are equivalent in nature. So here we got 7 in the denominator, which is our rational. So that is the concept of our rationalizing the denominator. So our aim has to be like eliminating the irrational terms from the denominator. Now see the second one. Second one says 1 by root 7 minus 1 by root 6 minus root 6. Okay, now see how many terms are here. 2 terms are here. That is why it is a binomial surd. That is what you have seen in the concept of surds also. So 2 terms are there, and in case of a binomial surd is there, binomial irrational number is there, for that we use the concept of conjugate as the rationalizing factor. So this should be multiplied with what? Here these 2 terms are joined by which sign? Minus sign. So the conjugate is going to be root 7 plus root 6. Okay, the denominator also should be multiplied with root 7 plus root 6. Now 1 into root 7 plus root 6 will be this much only. Now in the denominator, if you see, it is of the form, if you assume this root 7 as a, this root 6 as b, this is a minus b into this is a plus b. So a minus b into a plus b is what? A square minus b square. In place of a, root 7 is there, so root 7 square, minus in place of b what is there? Root 6 is there, root 6 square. So a square minus b square. So root 7 plus root 6 will be root 7 plus root 6 only. Don't add the numbers under roots, okay? These are both are very different, okay? Suppose if 7 plus 6 are there, you are habituated to add it as 13, but don't do it for this one. Root 7 plus root 6 is equal to, these are roots only, we should not add them, okay? Both are not same, okay? So here root 7 plus root 6 by 1. Why? Because in the denominator root 7 square minus root 6 square is going to be 7 minus 6 is 1, and the answer is going to be root 7 plus root 6. So see, in the denominator part we have 1, which is our rational. So we have eliminated the irrational denominator and we made it as, so both are equal. If you see the value of this one and this one, both will be same. Why? Because we have multiplied the numerator and denominator with the same number, so the value won't change. That is the third one. So 1 by root 5 plus root 2. So how many terms are there in the denominator? 2. So binomial sort, what is going to be the rationalizing factor? Which term we have to multiply with the numerator and denominator? It's its conjugate. Conjugate means what? The sign different has to be there. So root 5 minus root 2 in the numerator and root 5 minus root 2 in the denominator. Now see, 1 into root 5 plus root 2 minus root 2 will be root 5 minus root 2 only, and in the denominator just observe the form always. So we will be applying again and again the algebraic identities. What are the basic identities we have learned in our lower classes? The same application we are going to use it here also. So remember, knowing the things is not only the task in maths, we have to apply them wherever it is possible. So that is all about application of your concepts wherever it is needed. So that is why root 5 plus root 2, root 5 minus root 2, a plus b into a minus b, which is nothing but a square, which is root 5 square, minus b square, which is root 2 square. What is root 5 square? Which will be 5. What is root 2 square? It will be 2 in the denominator, and in the numerator root 5 minus root 2. Okay, as I told you, should not say root 5 minus root 3, root 2 as root 3, as we are doing for the natural number. These are both irrational numbers and under roots are there, so we should not operate on them. It has to be like this only. Okay, so it will be root 5 minus root 2 upon, it will be here 5 minus 2, it will be 3. So this is going to be, so 3 you got in the denominator, and here initially irrational number is there, finally you got a rational number. That is the concept of rationalization of denominator. So let us see the last question here. So that is root 7 minus root simply 2 here. Okay, so we shall look at the solution for this one. So how? Take the first given thing, which will be root 7 minus 2. So it's a binomial or not? Binomial third. Okay, 2 parts are there. Okay, 2 terms are there, and both are joined by a negative sign. So what is the conjugate? So we have seen the conjugate, right? So simply just we have to change the sign between the terms. So here it will be 1 by root 7 plus 2 is going to be our conjugate. Okay, so no, so this is root 7 plus 2 is going to be the conjugate. So multiply with the conjugate here in the numerator as well as in the denominator also. So just you write root 7 plus 2 here also. Now see, this is 7 into root 7 plus 2, it will be root 7 plus 2 only here, and in the denominator what we have, it will be a plus b into a minus b, so a square minus b square. So I'm repeating it again and again. So wherever you see this rationalizing denominator concept, you will be using a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So what is in place of a? Root 7 is there. What is in place of b? 2 is there. What is root 7 square? So root 7 square minus 2 square minus 2 square. So root 7 plus 2 will be root 7 plus 2 only. Okay, by in the root 7 square is 7 minus 2 square is 4. So root 7 plus 2 will be root 7 plus 2 as it is in the numerator, and 7 minus 4 will be 3. That is what you got in the denominator part. So rational you got, so initially irrational is there, you got a final result as 3 in the denominator, which is our rational denominator. So simply the concept of so just try to understand things from the definition itself. We are rationalizing the denominator. That means we are making the denominator as a rational number without changing its value. So why I am telling you we are not changing the value? Why? Because you are multiplying with the same number in the numerator and denominator. Always remember, when you multiply numerator and denominator with the same number, the value won't get changed. These are nothing but equivalent fractions. Suppose if I say 1 by 2, if I multiply with the 2 and 2, it will be getting 2 by 4, which is same, which is nothing but 1 by 2. If you cancel, here also you will be getting 1 by 2. These are nothing but equivalent fractions, you can say. So like that, we can rationalize the denominators using our rationalizing the denominator concept. So here is the solution for the last two questions here. So that is for this one and this one, just you can check it. And remember, wherever you are using any identity, just don't forget to mention it here, like since a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. That will make your answer effective. Otherwise, so here we should clearly state which identity or which part of your knowledge you are using. Okay, so that is why you have to mention it sideways. So with this we have finished our exercise 1.5. so let us meet with the next video. So till then, take care, have a great day. Thank you all.